Hello, so we're back and this time with an important video. So this video is about my tools. People request this video, so I'm gonna go through every tool I'm using, and also I will tell you if I will buy that tool again or not. So this is where the magic happens. This is my sanctuary. Here, the laptops are usually fixed. Now I didn't prepare the desk for this video, so that's how normally my desk is looking. Now the first tool on the list is my multimeter, UT8802E. Now this multimeter, you remember we have a video with this multimeter when I bought it and actually the transformer was not in place when the multimeter arrived. Now the multimeter, I'm quite happy with the multimeter. It is fast, it is working with the computer, I have no problems. But one minus, big minus on this multimeter is the diode mode. I cannot use the diode mode. It's pretty confusing, it's giving me like two different voltage and I don't know why. If I will buy it again, not sure. I'm happy with the refresh rate, but because of the diode mode, probably I will look for something else. Now the next one on the list is the hot air. Aten ST A62D. Now with the hot air, you remember I made a video initially, I wasn't happy because you don't have an air pump inside, you have a turbine. But after I use it for a while, I am happy with the hot air, and probably if I will be to buy again, probably I will buy the same. A big minus with this hot air is actually the plastic tube. It's very rigid and it took me a while to get used to it. Now the next one on the list is the power supply. Now this is an analog cheap power supply, linear power supply. Now if you ask me 100 times if I will choose to buy exactly the same power supply, I will buy exactly the same. Like how I said many times, a linear power supply compared with a switching one, it's quite a big of difference. Because we are using the power supply to diagnose boards. And when I'm looking to diagnose a board, I'm looking for the power supply behavior. A linear power supply, it will tell me a lot more compared with a switching one. Also, I do love the internal high resistance of a linear power supply, which sometimes can be forgiveful. Now, many people ask, Sorin, but what about your laptop tips, how they are connected to the power supply? And you can see here with two wires, minus and plus. We have minus and plus only. When we are going back to the desk, I will show you the entire setup. Now the next on list is the solder iron. Now I will be honest with you, someone sent me like a present this soldering station and solder iron. It's a Weller WD2M. Now if you are looking to buy the same, probably, I don't know, if I will buy the same, probably I will buy the single one. So here you can connect two different solder irons, like solder iron and soldering tweezer. But usually I'm working with one solder iron, so probably with one end it'll be cheaper and it'll fit better for what I'm doing. Now as I said, this was a present. If I will be to buy again, probably not. And not because it's not good. It is good. But I burned my laptop battery analyzer 3 times with this solder iron. So if the analyzer is connected to the computer and I'm soldering with the solder iron, I will see a spark, and that's not okay from a solder iron. It is a heavy box, so I'm assuming it's a transformer, but somehow it is connected with the mains, probably using a capacitor or something to discharge the electrostatic charges. Maybe for some people this is a plus, but for me it is a big minus. So probably I will not buy it again, probably I will buy something else, but with a linear transformer, and that's very important because you want like perfect separation from the mains. Now I've seen people ask about my camera, my top camera. It's a Sony Alpha 6400. It is a great camera. Great camera is a camera which you can power on and how you have no issue. You don't have to adjust anything and it's just working. I am happy with this camera, and probably if I will be to buy it again, I definitely buy the same camera again. Has a big sensor, which is a big plus for like if you don't have that much light. Now the microscope is an Amscope microscope. It's an optical microscope. If you are not like a YouTuber, you don't need to buy with the third end, the one with the camera. And I will not speak about this, so if you are a YouTuber or you are looking to record videos, definitely I will recommend to check my video with the camera review and the one with the focus ring behind of the camera. But otherwise, for like a normal user, all you need is like optical Amscope microscope. I know there are people, they prefer digital, I prefer optical microscope. You can never ever compare the quality of an optical microscope with a digital one. So if you are looking for something good, optical microscope, and if it happens like for you to like wear glasses, you can adjust those things here, and actually you don't need glasses when you are using the microscope. Now for what I'm doing, the live system, you don't need something like that, yeah? So if you are doing videos, yeah, it is making sense, but otherwise, this thingy is not really making sense. If you don't record, you can use like a normal light ring on the microscope, and if you have like reflections or glare, that's not a problem because the eye has a very high dynamic range, so it will not be a problem just to use like a normal light ring. But if you record, the light ring I have here, this is a light ring with polarizer inside. It is helpful if you have a better camera. I mean, this is a 4K camera, 60 FPS, but the pixel size is quite small. So it is fine, good picture quality, but need a lot of light. When you need a lot of light, you can't really use a polarized ring. So when it's about recording, you really need a lot of light. So I'm using both. Both are on the light ring from here, and this one, which were modified, I have a video with those things. I took out the LEDs and I replaced them with some Nikia high performance LEDs. They are getting extremely hot. You can't even touch them after a while. But again, if you don't record, you don't need something like that. So if you buy the Amscope microscope, you will find the arm of the microscope on the website, so you can get the arm if you want. But otherwise, I'm happy with the microscope. If I will be to buy again, I will buy exactly the same thing again, whatever I have here. Now I took out the cable, which I'm using during the laptop repairs. So that's how you connect the cable to the power supply. You have two wires, plus and minus. So what is here, it's a USB extender, and all what you use is red and black. Now, if you check this cable, which is USB-C, you can see, so this is a USB-C cable. On the other end, you have only two wires, two pins. You have plus and minus. Because the charger ID pin is taking care here inside. So all you have here is plus and minus. Where you can find this cable, on the description on my Amazon list, yeah, there you have from where you can buy the cable. And here are the end connectors, and all they have only two pins, plus and minus. If I will be to buy it again, I'll buy it. Yeah, definitely. But you must have in mind some connectors like the Lenovo. It's working like usually on Lenovo's, but not on the gaming ones. Or the Dell, yeah? It is working on some models, usually the simple models, but you know, the ones they have usually a dedicated GPU chip, this connector is not working. It will say the power adapter cannot be identified. Now, one thing what I'm sorry, and probably I'll do it, I'm sorry because I'm using this adapter. So this cable, with this cable, has quite a high resistance. And when you try to draw a lot of amps, usually I have high resistance on the wires. Let me show you what I mean. Okay, so I connect the cable back to the power supply. Let's say we have 19 volts. And let's short the cable, yeah, just to see the internal resistance. And you can see I have on the other side, I have like 1.8 volts, which is a lot, 1.8 volts left. I lose like 1.8 volts on this cable with 4 point something amps. So I wish, I don't know, maybe I should do it. Cut this cable and use red and black from this cable. But then it's too short, kind of short. So yeah, replace the cable with another one. This is very flexible. You replace with a better cable, it's not that flexible. So I will leave it like that for the moment. But this is an important tool because you have to see what is happening with the current when you try to diagnose a laptop. You want to see what the laptop is doing. If you don't have this tool, you can't see what the laptop is doing. It's taking power, it's not taking power, how much it's taking. It is sensing the power button. The EC chip is reading the power button. So those things, you find them with this tool. Now my other tool, the USB-C, I bought this one and I use it for a while. It's supporting PD 3.1, but I'm not very happy. I'm not very happy because, you know what, if the end of the USB-C will be here and I can use only one cable, I will be happy and I will use it. But just because you need two cables and kind of chunky, you know, I don't really like it. My other one, which I'm working with, this one is going only to PD 3.0. But this is very simple to work with. You just plug the USB-C, plug into the laptop, and that's all. On this one, I cracked the screen, but I ordered another one. So in the future, you will see me working with something like that. Of course, except the case where actually I need PD 3.1. You remember for the Dell XPS boards, to start the board without the battery. Now, my other important tool, and I consider this as being an important tool, is the Miniware screwdriver. Not sure if I have a link from where you can buy it on my Amazon, but you should have a look. I don't know, probably AliExpress you can find it. It's quite expensive, probably it's around 80 to 100, I believe. Not sure about that. I got it for a review, if you remember, and I want to thank you to Miniware for that. And from that point, I just using it. It's proper good. Now, the other tips on the hot air, I do have those bend tips, but I never use them. I try to use them, but it's not very practical because you never know the position of the nozzle. So I still prefer the straight ones. As soldering tools, I'm using the soldering rosin, good quality rosin, double rosin core, 180 degree solder wire, X-grade liquid rosin, and soldering paste 140 degrees. All of these, you can find them on the link on the description on my eBay and United States eBay. My other tools, I have the SWOT programmer with the ZIF connector. You know what, this, even now, I haven't took my money out from this. So if I will be to buy it, probably I'll not buy it. I'm starting avoiding taking EC chip repairs because if it's a genuine job, I will tell you experience what I have it like in the last days. If it's a genuine repair, yeah, if it's a genuine repair, let's say, okay, laptop died because why? That's important. Why the laptop died? Okay, it's a Lenovo and the charger port got broken and the middle pin touched to plus. Okay, so I know the EC chip, replacing the EC chip, that laptop, it will work. So it's worth to waste the time. But I have a lot of emails like I replaced the screen and now the laptop is not coming on. And clearly the EC chip is dead. But the question is, it's only the EC chip? What about the chipset? Because usually, you know, even the chipset can die or together, like the EC chip and the chipset. So you see a job like that, probably I will avoid. If you have a lot of time, yeah, so here are different kind of people. If you have time or it's a hobby, yeah, you can take any repair. But trying to stay efficient, I can't take a job like that because I'm not sure about I'm not, because I can work and
end up with nothing. So if I replace the AC chip and I program the AC chip and it's not working, I lost the time. Few days ago, some customer sent me the laptop to replace the AC chip, and I really wanted to help that customer. So the AC chip died, was shorted because they tried to replace the screen without disconnecting the battery. So I will tell you the main issue here. I replaced the AC chip. The customer sent me the AC chip. I replaced the AC chip. Everything was looking fine with the USB-C. I can see 20 volts, but I could not program the chip. And that's the moment, that's the moment when you are just sitting like that and you ask yourself, is something wrong with my programmer or maybe my cable? Because it was IT5152, I believe, and I had to program by the keyboard connector. Then you ask yourself, well, what about maybe it's the chipset? Or maybe it's the motherboard, it's something else on the motherboard, or maybe it's the AC chip which is partial faulty. So just to understand the feeling I had. So I have to give back that job like how it is. And I said, you know what, I'm sorry, I can't fix it. Just because you have so many variables and there's not much what you can do. I mean, I don't know if the programmer is something with the programmer, or the cable, or the board, or the AC chip, or the chipset. So I could not do it. No, the programmer was not speaking with the AC chip for some reason. Now the support on this board is very poor also. So I did have a problem before, and I said that on the video, and someone from their support is only on Telegram. And another YouTuber gave me an idea, you know what, sorry, and just solder there a memory and short something somewhere, and I was able to program, was the same like a IT chip. I'm just saying. So my advice, if you are like a business or a person is fixing stuff, probably I will avoid something like that. Probably I will focus on replacing the AC chips with the AC chips which they are getting programming itself. So I think on our Discord we have a list with AC chips which they are getting programmed. So that kind of AC chip, you replace it with a blank one and it will program itself from the BIOS. The BIOS programmer, RevelProg, I really love this tool. So if I will be to buy it again, definitely I will buy exactly the same one. I'm very happy with this programmer. I had no issue. I can do a lot of things, change the current, change the voltage. Nothing wrong to say with regarding with this programmer. Now, other things, Pogo pins. Pogo pins, I'm very happy with the Pogo pins. You remember when I bought them? I bought them from AliExpress, I believe. So those are the Pogo pins, I have them. So you can program a chip, the SMD chips, without actually desoldering the chip. It is working, not always. So I found, I'm trying, give me like errors when I'm trying to check with the buffer. And you can have a case where actually you plug the charger or you plug the battery on that board, and that board supplying power to the BIOS chip, and you are able to read that BIOS chip. Now those thingies, I'm sorry I bought them. I never use them. Never use them because I always 99% of the cases I'm dealing with reading the chip straight from the motherboard. I can supply with this one up to 200 milliamps. That means even if the AC chip is connected on the BIOS power rail, I can supply power. Now, if you are looking for a cheap programmer, you can buy the CH341. So I work with this. Compatibility-wise, I had no issue at all. So they work like every time. You don't have to modify. I know there are a lot of stories modifying. You don't have. Just use it how it is. Then you have the 1.8 volts adapter, so you can program 1.8 volts BIOS chips. But this is insanely slow. So if I will be to buy again, definitely not, just because it's very, very slow. Now the next tool is the NLBA battery laptop analyzer. Now, this is a sensitive tool, and when I'm saying sensitive, it's Some people, if you run a business, it is worth to buy something like that. Otherwise, like a hobbyist, this is quite expensive, but fantastic tool on repairing batteries. Yeah, repairing, unlocking. Yeah, this definitely it's worth if you have a shop or a computer business. Now the last item is the thermal camera. This is fantastic. This I will buy like 10 times. I mean, it's so helpful, and just is giving you opportunity to work with low currents. Yes, I'm like, okay, so the board is taking like what, 40 milliamps. With 40 milliamps, you cannot feel anything. So you have two options: to risk and raise the current. But obviously, if you can raise the current, because maybe you have to raise the voltage in order to raise the current, and you see, it's kind of risky. But with low current, I can easily spot any problem, and you can see the resolution is fantastic. I mean, really, really nice, nice camera. I have nothing wrong to say about this camera. I have no issues, no problem at all. One advice I can give you, and I'm really sorry I didn't make a video. You can open this camera. You see this frame is coming out, then you have few screws behind, then you have like one screw probably here, somewhere here. You can open and move the focus ring, so you can change the focus range, so you can focus from close. You can do that. That's what I did with my one. HTI HT H8. I'm pretty sure there is nothing better on the market right now. I mean, affordable. I mean, kind of, affordable is it's a tricky word. Depends what affordable means. But I think this now is like about 800 pounds, if I remember. Let me check on eBay. Okay, it looks like currently it's not available on Amazon, but it is available on AliExpress. Well, actually, it's cheaper. Lol. I can't believe so. Actually, the price of this camera now is 674. So why this is 600 and this one is 800? It's the same, right? Anyway, there you have it. This is a pretty good thermal camera. Okay, so that being said, those are my tools, which I'm using them. And tools are important. Now, if you think about the money when you are buying tools, and you think tools are expensive, tools, it will always pay itself. So even if you pay a little bit of money on the thermal camera or on the hot air, it will pay itself. So I'm gonna stop here. I will say thank you for watching. Just like, subscribe if you like the video. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment. Yeah, leave a comment and I will answer to that comment. So see you on the next one. Bye.